You might not like it, but this is what peak Chen gameplay looks like. This is a game of Puppey playing Chen in a pop game, and she went for a somewhat interesting starting build. 2 circlets and 3 branches, that is a total of +7 to all stats. That is a grand total of +14.7 damage. And that's a lot of damage. We hit pretty hard here, and that contributes to them getting this first blood here. So in this game, Puppey is playing +5 Chen together with a carry Pudge, and that means he has this carry hero who is very tanky, nice frontliner, so having extra right-click damage is really valuable. Also important thing to note about itemization in this game is playing against an AA, who's a hero who can disable healing with his ultimate. That makes mech a little bit weaker than it is otherwise. Doesn't mean you never want to go mech against AA, but it loses quite a bit of value. So he is going to ignore that item, and that's why he's not going for headdress. So what I usually do if I want to do more right-click damage with starting items on Chen is to get a Blightstone. So you get like Blightstone, 3 branches, and that still leaves you enough money to get a Sentry and a Tango. But Puppey instead going for double circle, which is perhaps due to Pudge not doing the most right-click damage. So that makes the Blightstone a little bit less valuable, but in general it's probably still better than getting double circlet. Of course, you also want to go for Wand, a great item. It's a +3 to all stats, which means 6.3 damage, aside from obviously healing you and refilling your mana. And it's also an item you can go upgrade into Holy Locket, but again, against AA, probably less value here. Since Pudge doesn't need that much babysitting here, Puppey can go ahead and contest this minute 4 rune, also pick up the level 3 rune. This minute 3 rune is not something you usually want to contest, because you'd rather contest the Lotus Pool, but you can take it when you find it. What I think he should be going for as next item, given what he already has, is that aforementioned Blightstone. Going to give him quite a bit more right-click damage, and he wants to upgrade this anyway into Medallion and then into Solar Crest. Quite a strong buff to be putting onto your cores in this game. Like all 3 of the cores are going to really appreciate having that buff put onto them. Here they're going to try on a kill for the Snapfire, who's already died twice. Oh, does miss, but with a Spirit Breaker coming in, that should be an easy kill. Should be easy kill, I said. There we go. It's important to note that as Chen, you do want to be farming. You don't just want to sit behind your carry. If you can farm these camps that are nearby, that is a great addition to your net worth. And here they try for another kill attempt, the Beastmaster, but I don't think it quite works out. Or does it? Yeah, it does. Nice. Yeah, once you got that level 3 rot, that is a lot of damage and a lot of slow. I really don't know about this idea of going for a Null Talisman here, because what does upgrading your circle into Null really give you? It gives you an extra 3 int, which you don't care about that much, and it gives you a little bit of mana regen and max mana. But do you really need that? I mean, you probably want to go for Solar Crest anyway, which has some mana regen. And if you want more mana regen, you can go for something like a Pavis, just a great value, or you can go for something like a Basilius, which then upgrades into Vlad's. Or if you really want to upgrade your circlets, why not just buy Urn of Shadows? It's just a much more efficient item than Null Talisman. So I don't really agree with this, but I guess Puppey's just like experimenting with this stuff, I would assume. And he doesn't actually end up finishing this Null Talisman, so this mantle just gets sold at some point. 8-minute rune is coming up, so Puppey's summoning his creeps. He had one Hilltroll Priest go for a little bit of a spa vacation in the fountain. And they find the Snapfire, does steal the rune, but just look at how much damage he's doing. He's 93 damage. And Magnus, of course, even more absurd amount of damage that he deals out. He doesn't even have many stat items, but Empower just adds so much damage on Magnus, who's now a universal hero as well. So Pudge has decided to play a bit more active. He's in the top lane, he wants to find kills. which means that Puppey can just chill here a little bit. You know, you can farm this lane, you can farm these camps nearby. Gonna hit this Beastmaster a little bit. Also notice that Beastmaster is going for the Agnus build, because he doesn't want to have his creep stolen. So Puppey gets gone on here by 3 heroes, but he's actually pretty tanky with only stat items. And so you can just sort of walk it off, uses the magic wand in the last second with the full 20 charges. And they can easily turn this fight around here. Tango goes down, Puppey survives, and that is really the power of all these stats that he's been building. In terms of neutral items on Chen, what you really want is the shovel. I think it's just generally the strongest tier 1 item. Given this stats theme build that he's going for, you might also really appreciate Pig Pole. It's just a lot of extra damage on Chen and other universal heroes. You can also go for the Arcane Ring, that's some nice extra mana. Seeds of Serenity is also quite strong on Chen, you can heal up your creeps. Now look at how much damage Chen is doing. He's doing 155 damage thanks to this Alpha Wolf now. That's just so absurdly high. It's 12 minutes into the game. He's a +5 doing 150 damage per hit. It's a little bit later in the game, and Puppey has built up a new creep army after the previous one died in a fight that I didn't show here. And he's taken over this melee creep, which is a great move you want to do if you have a free creep slot and you're pushing a tower. Just take over a melee creep, let it tank, and put your Solar Crest on it if you have it. And as soon as a little bit of downtime, Puppey goes back into farm mode. Right? This hero is great at farming, and you need to farm anyways to get new and better creeps. So you just accumulate so much gold with this hero, because you kill creeps fairly quickly, and of course every time you use your Holy Persuasion, you get some extra gold. Take a look at these smooth moves, by the way. So they run to the opponent, go back a little bit. Tango does not actually use his Rolling Thunder. It just evades a little bit. Spirit Breaker is not quite there, so reorganize himself a little bit here, and then he's still got this Shadow Blade Magnus looking for an opportunity, and he finds one, skewers back the Pango, he gets focused down, and another hook here, and Bloodseeker also going down. Of course, it's very easy to hook people when they're in the circle here, in the Pit of Malice. So it's just 2 free kills, and you know, Puppey's team just playing together here very well. A quick portal leads to another kill, and now they want to get the mid tower here. This kind of ward is very nice to have when you're pushing tier 2 tower. Ward here, or maybe like here, is great, especially on low levels. It hardly ever gets dewarded. Of course, the pros know about these spots. So they get some more kills behind here, and that might be a tower here. And of course, Puppey getting more creeps. He's in fact gets the Centaur Courser here. At this stage of the game, Centaur Courser is going to be stronger than the big Centaur most of the time, because there's so much magic damage in the enemy team. Like Beastmaster is mostly magic damage with this build. This is mostly magic damage, magic damage, magic damage. It is like partially magic damage. But yeah, this is a great aura to have. 12% magic resist. Also, by the way, note that Beastmaster has been forced to not go Helm of the Overlord, because that would be really bad against Chen, because Chen can just steal all the creeps. And once you have the shard, you can also steal the ancient creeps, so don't go dominant against Chen. In terms of itemization, if you're not going for mech, you pretty much always want to go for drum, because then you have this excellent upgrade path with the bongo boots, which otherwise if you go for greaves, it's a little bit awkward. So drum is just an incredibly strong item in general, and just fits so well onto Chen. This extra movement speed for you and for your creeps, that's great. Strength and int is of course the stats that Chen most appreciates, and then it also has this active, which of course is so strong in team fights, and it's just a very nice item to have on Chen. And like the only reason you don't see Chen always buy this item is because of this upgrade path conflict with Guardian Greaves and Boots of Bearing. Next item that Puppey went for is a Vlad's, which of course is a very strong aura item. Now that it no longer has a good upgrade path on Chen, it's a little bit weaker than it used to be, but still extremely strong. Very sad to see Puppey here killing these ancients. There's no shard. Didn't even had the money. So of course are the most valuable ancients in terms of like straight up fighting. Of the split pushing, of course, the big dragon is the best. You know, by the way, how useful it is to have Harpy Stormcrafter at night. Gives you so much more vision, because this has full night vision, like a Slark. You should not really be running in this far with the creeps. The creeps he has here are also just like aura creeps. You don't need to be close with them. So you should keep them behind your hero most of the time. So what should we think about this very stat-heavy starting item build that Puppey went for? It's definitely something you can do. I think most of the time, of course, you still want to go for max. So getting that early headrest is a pretty high priority. But like, no matter what kind of build you go for on Chen, I think you should always at least get a couple of branches for that extra right-click damage at the start. And then, of course, normally you go for the mech. But if you don't go for the mech, always get drum. And even if you go for mech, drum is still a great option. Of course, at the end of the day, Chen is not really a right-clicker. But even so, like, look at how much damage he does. It's like almost 300 damage with this wolf in tow. And that does add up. Right? Of course, you're not gonna carry the game as a post 5 Chen, but your right clicks do matter, and it's nice to have a little bit of that extra damage from all the stats. Of course, you're not gonna buy these items like Solar Crest or Lincoln's just for the stats, but it's like a little bit of extra value that these items get from Chen being a universal hero. And this is going to be pretty much the end of the game. So hope you've enjoyed this. I am currently preparing a much more in-depth guide to Chen. I'm going to talk about all the important things you need to know, how to play Chen in 733. So we don't want to miss that. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And before you go, click on one of the videos here on the screen. And Ober's willing, I'll see you there.